Try to remember your first birthday. Try to remember the sound of your mother's voice when you were 2. You can't? Not really. You have photos. You have stories other people told you. But the real memory, the one that was actually yours, is gone. And the reason why is far stranger than simple forgetting. You were there. Your brain was working. Your eyes were open. Your ears were listening. Your body was learning the world at a pace you will never match again. So where did it all go? For over a century, people assumed babies just weren't paying attention. Sigmund Freud was one of the first to name the gap. He called it infantile amnesia, and he believed it happened because early memories were too disturbing to keep, buried on purpose by a young mind protecting itself. That idea sounded compelling. It was also wrong. Your brain wasn't hiding anything from you. It simply hadn't built the shelves yet. Think about a library with no catalog system. Books keep arriving. They get stacked in piles, shoved into corners, tossed onto random shelves with no labels. Even if every book is technically inside the building, good luck finding the one you want. That's close to what's happening inside a baby's brain. The books are memories. The missing catalog is a brain structure called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of your brain responsible for turning short-term experience into long-term, retrievable memory. It links a moment to a time, a place, a sequence of cause and effect. In infancy, this structure is still under construction. Neurons are being born inside it at an extraordinary rate. And that rapid growth, it turns out, might be exactly what erases everything. In 2014, neuroscientist Paul Franklin at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto ran a series of experiments that reframed the entire mystery. He and his team studied neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons, in the hippocampus of young mice. What they found was almost paradoxical. The very process that builds a growing brain also appears to overwrite the wiring that stores early memories. New neurons integrate into existing circuits. In doing so, they can scramble the connections holding old information in place. The faster new cells are made, the faster old memories seem to dissolve. In other words, your brain wasn't malfunctioning when you were 2. It was under construction, and construction has collateral damage. But neurogenesis is only part of the story. There's also language. Have you ever tried to describe a feeling you didn't have the words for? It's nearly impossible to hold on to something you can't yet name. Psychologist Carol Peterson at Memorial University of Newfoundland has spent decades studying how children talk about their own past. Her research shows that kids only begin forming memories in a way that can later be recalled once they develop what's called narrative structure, the ability to organize events into a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Before that skill develops, around age 3 or 4, experiences may register, but they don't get encoded in a form your older self can access. It's not that the memory never existed. It's that it was never translated into language your future brain could search for. Imagine writing an important note in a language you'll later forget how to read. The note is real. It's still there. But eventually, it becomes noise. Then there's a third piece, and it comes from developmental psychologist Patricia Bauer at Emory University. Bauer has spent her career tracking how memory ability changes month by month in early childhood. Her studies show something counterintuitive. Toddlers can form memories. They can even recall specific events days or weeks later. What they struggle with is durability. A 3-year-old's memory fades far faster than a 7-year-old's. Bauer's data suggests the system isn't broken in early childhood so much as it's temporary by design, storing things briefly while the permanent architecture matures underneath it. So here's what was actually happening back when you were small. Your brain was building itself while trying to use itself. Roads were still being paved while cars were already driving on them. Something had to give. And what gave, almost universally, across nearly every human being who has ever lived, was your earliest years of memory. Why would evolution allow this? Wouldn't it be safer to remember everything? Maybe not. A brain that keeps every early experience forever might never finish building the infrastructure needed for complex, adult-level memory. Speed and flexibility in early childhood may matter more than permanence. You needed to learn how to walk, how to recognize faces, how to predict danger, how to acquire an entire